Hello, YouTube. What's up? Hey, we're doing the recording. It's Second Wake, episode 34. I'm Kareem Zamir. Those are the Seekers of Galanti. We play Dungeons and Dragons. Sometimes we play other stuff too, but mostly Dungeons and Dragons. And with that, let's bully Orville. What happened last time, Orville?
We started off going back and asking Buddy about Yetsukalis. We didn't learn anything new about Ham. This is after accepting more or less a bounty on Yetsukalis, who's known as the Merchant of Death. I didn't really get any information, so we went back, had dinner with the Fiber Hair family. It was really spicy. Really spicy. It turns out furbolgs eat a bunch of stuff, and so spice doesn't really affect them to the scale that it affects small things like goblins and other humanoids. We said our goodbyes, and we went to sneak about the warehouse. Vel sent Aja into the warehouse as a rat to sneak about and scout and whatnot. One of the carts took off and went way down the road. Second cart went to take off, and they took a little nap and a little detour before waking themselves and making their way. I went invisible, thanks to Vel, snuck inside, and got to detect thoughts by Yetsukalis. And then we got together and had a nice chat. And turns out our buddy, who gave us all the healing potions in the previous, whose name is escaping me, Rain something or other, Rainwave.
Dead sucker.
Yeah, he be floating face down in the bay. Rest in peace.
In a slotty stomach.
Oh, he got eaten? I thought he got drowned.
His stuff's in the bay. He got eaten.
Okay. He dead. He very dead. Mucho muerto, as the kids say.
Is that what the kids say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Anywho, Yetsukalis claimed to have had a hand in the Giants versus Humans war, and might be poking and pressing some buttons around there now. So that might be something we get to look forward to in the future. He gave us all his business card on the way out, and then we hopped on a boat, and Captain went, "Hey guys, I'm Colt Honeycutt," and then the DM cut the session. So
whoa, what? Guys, I think that's a little rude. Like, Colt's been here the whole time, guys. Colt has never left. I am going to do one thing before we jump in. I'm going to do, and you're going to see this real quick. We're going to go real quick, just behind the screen. Thank you so much. All right, cool, great. So yeah, nothing wrong, nothing bad at all about that kind of stuff. Now rhythm's not working at all. What the hell?
The captain of our ship.
There's captain. He got that. He's
right
got
there.
Mechanicsburg money. Oh, okay.
He's right there across from us. I can see him.
Yeah, look, he's right here. Hold on, guys. Sorry, hold on. You are right, guys. Hold on. You are absolutely right. I don't know where I had Colt in the wrong spot.
I was wondering.
There we go. Look at that. Look at that guy. That's Colt Honeycutt, if I've ever seen him. If I've ever seen Colt Honeycutt, there we go. That looks right. So yeah, easy is as easy does. Yeah, good stuff. Yes, when we last left, you guys had spoken with Yetsukalis. You all had discussed a number of interesting opportunities with the Merchant of Death. You had traded effectively the information and livelihood of Rainwave the Merchant, who had sent you on this quest, promising you a fair cut of the reward in exchange for information about the Ram and what's going on in the steam fields, coming to find out that it's a lot of fugazi, and it's a lot of misinformation, and it's a lot of stuff that's all set up both for the Ram himself, as well as his backers, or rather compatriots, allies, whatever you might call them, a number of giant kin and giant folk that have been oppressed, repressed, and shoved away to the south for a long time, and being in reclusive hiding, including a fire giant, which is an individual who counts their nobility from among the long line of giants themselves. But with that, you all boarded the boat that had been procured for you from Rainwave for a hasty escape of the city should you have to kill and run. And being that you were kind of leaving on good terms, your boat captain has spoken well of you, welcomed you aboard his small waterborne vessel within Lake Loria, and has drawn the anchor and unhooked, at least has not drawn anchor yet, from the dock, has shooken Bucky's hand and introduced himself in a very matter-of-fact way, going, "It's nice to meet you all. Welcome aboard. I'm Captain Colt Honeycutt, and this here is the Snake." And he shakes Bucky's hand, introducing himself and his boat. Looking you all over, at this point, he kind of gives you a soft nod. He goes, "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Buck. Might there be anything else you need to do here before we skedaddle out of here?"
Well, Colt Honeycutt, you say?
It's Captain Colt Honeycutt. I didn't survive 5 wars to not be a captain, and of course I have my own boat, so this boat here is mine, and I suppose that makes me the captain of it. So yeah, I do suppose that makes me Captain Colt Honeycutt now, doesn't it?
Aye, Captain. Aye.
Indeed. Good pirate speak, but we're not pirates. I'm just a humble tiller, if you might be, a captain, if you will.
Sir, do you have a son, perhaps?
Son? Ooh, not in some great many years. I've been around a few places. I've definitely had my fair run-ins with a number of the greener skinned folk, and whew, I do say I have a fever for such things, but overall I don't think I can count that I have a son, per se. At least not one anyone's told me about. That's rather personal. Oh, I didn't get your name. I'm sorry, miss.
I'm JJ, sir.
JJ. Okay, well, I like double letters, so that's good. Nice and simple name. Hopefully you're more than meets the eye.
Captain, you ever met anybody else named Colt Honeycutt?
Met anyone else? Oh, oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah, I've met another Colt Honeycutt every morning that I look in the mirror. Yeah, a nice how do you do to start the day. I get you. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down, friend.
Yeah. Did we want to bring Buddy with us?
A buddy? You have a buddy? He looks out on the dock.
Well, we had thought about.
Think that Buddy is in an emotional or any sort of state to move on from his current situation.
Well, you know what they say, ma'am, and I don't know you personally, but I've always had the idea that the open waters is the best thing to heal an addled mind. So if your friend's going through a depressive spell, might as well bring them on. The more the merrier, I always say. I mean, unless we're running for our lives. But, I mean, I think they kind of cut and run, if you caught my drift. Yeah, invite your friend out. We could have I got a couple of beverages down below. I make an excellent hooch. I've been distilling my own for a couple of months now, and whew, we could have ourselves a grand old time out on the lake. I'm told we're supposed to go to Fort Orson. Is that right?
Awesome. Yes.
Tremendous. Yeah, if you want to go find your sad buddy, you can bring him on aboard. He's more than welcome aboard. More the merrier, and we could all get along. You know, like pack of little doggies.
Bucky's gonna turn to Velithil and be like, "I think he could be useful. You know, he seems kind of depressed now, but if he gets out of that horrible ice cream place, he might perk up a little."
Oh, ice cream place? You talking about Sea Salt and Sunday Saloon?
Yeah.
You know that they put whiskey in the ice cream, right? You can ask for that?
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Tremendous place. Real tremendous place. Tremendous. No way you can have a frown on your face when your elbows deep in some ice cream. That's some good eating right there.
What if it's someone else's ice cream?
Oh, I mean, so long as they're not mad at you, I guess.
I
There's a lot going on right now.
Yes, sorry, we're a lot on my mind right now. I don't think, and unless the entire group wants to go and ask him if he'd like to pick up his life here, personally, without making some sort of arrangement for him to be welcome somewhere like home, I wouldn't want to uplift him into our troubles. But if you all think it's worth it, I can't say for certain I know of any particular skills that he would bring.
Well,
I- oh,
I
go
do
ahead.
apologize. It's just you all seem rather friendly and personable. Ma'am, I don't mean to be rude here, but in my experience, this whole situation. I don't know this fella. I don't know your situation, of course. But there's a wonderful story I once was told about a gentleman who went out on the dock one way late day and went out and stared out in the dock, and he saw with his eyes another man drowning. It was something in the air that night, and he really thought that, this individual should have been able to swim to shore and pull himself out of the muck, but didn't realize the struggles and the weight that was holding this individual down. And he could have saved him. He could have saved him right on the dock, but he chose not to. And he watched that man drown. Now, it's oftentimes in our lives that I find you can't always tell the struggle that someone's going through. And if you can be that salvation to pull them up out of the ocean and save them from drowning, wouldn't you want to be that person?
Well, I don't disagree. I just wouldn't want to be the one to pull someone out of the ocean and feed them to a lion.
Well, I don't know any lions that walk along the beach, but yeah, you probably know better than me. That's fine.
That's just a lot to consider.
Really a lovely song if you ever get the chance to hear it. It's tremendous.
Look at JJ if she knows that one.
JJ is just kind of like zoned and kind of just switching her eyes between just like the distance and Colt, trying to like figure something out in her brain.
So, Bucky, you're interested in proposing this offer to Bartholomew?
I think so. He just seemed awful miserable. I think, it might do him some good to get out on the road. And he might be useful yet.
If I could, I
Please
mean,
do.
worst case scenario, Buddy just ends up working at a different ice cream parlor in Fort Osen. Change scenery might do him some good.
You know what? That's not.
I'm sorry, what was that, JJ?
I said that's not a bad idea. Maybe seeing if he wants to relocate areas for maybe a different civil service style job. I don't know.
Sometimes all you need is just a fresh start. What better way to do it with a boat full of friends?
I suppose I should be the one to ask him?
Probably mean the
Sure,
most.
I'll come. Yeah, I'll come along with you if you need.
He probably sleeps at the parlor, doesn't he?
That would not surprise me.
let's go try and find him. If we can't, we'll be back shortly and we can be off.
Well, Mr. Honeycutt, do you happen to know if there's like a common house or anything here where maybe some of the workers work? It's the elf, big ol' elf.
Actually,
Big
buddy
ol'
that
elf.
works there.
Buddy's big
more
ol'
so,
elf.
you are familiar with the saloon. You know, Buddy. He works there. He throws the confetti.
Throws the confetti. Oh, the real tall fella. He got them big old ears. He's like some type of elf or something.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I know, buddy. He's a good little bean. He is. Real sad sack at times, but I mean, you know, that guy. He's something else. I'll tell you. He's real well spoken. Seems to be way too far educated to be in that kind of shithole. But not that it's a shithole per se. Don't take it out of context there. I do love that place, but yeah. No, he's a rain cloud on a sunny day. Let me tell you what.
Well, that's who we're talking about right now.
Oh, hell yeah. You're probably saving him from killing himself. Let me tell you what. I mean, he needs some sunshine, some R&R, probably to get away. Maybe if you could convince him to, I mean, he's got that little guy, that real, I mean, I don't got nothing against gnomes, let me tell you what, but, just flip him the bird, you know? He's got to mop up every mess from what I know. I once knocked over my glass and he had to pick up all the broken pieces. You know, it's just terrible, terrible thing. I felt so bad, I left him a whole copper coin for a tip.
Wow, a whole copper.
Generous.
It's, you know, from my charitable pockets to his whatever type of pocket he got. Probably a really destitute one, yeah.
Probably,
yeah.
Would you happen to know where he meditates?
I don't stalk the fella. I mean, I don't like keep up on his itinerary or none of that. I mean, seeing him around town don't mean we're friends, you know.
I wasn't sure.
Well, it's like
We're not locals,
you know,
so we wouldn't know where most people may live.
well, you know, it's like, you know, if you go get your hair done, you know, you're not gonna know where your hairstylist is living, you know. That's creepy. You know, they lock people away for figuring that stuff out. Some type of, you need a private investigator or some type of something, you know. I mean, back in the war, we used dogs. Oh man, I got a story about these dogs. Okay, so there he was staring down a whole battalion. And we need to find one individual in this battalion who effectively had stolen the plans to our whole operation. So what we did was we went ahead and we took these dogs.
We start walking away.
15 miles through. Oh, have fun, y'all. Hey, since you all are staying. So these dogs, we walked them 15 miles, the two of them.
Val, do you know anything in particular that he's carrying? I was just going to think of maybe that. I hate the mental image. But his uniform.
Yeah, he didn't, like, I don't think we know of any exact property that he would have had aside from that.
No, you know that you know that he has his uniform. He had like some very basic shabby shoes. Seemed to be the kind of thing. You know that he mentioned he only has one uniform and he likely carries it on him.
Yeah.
Right, I guess I'm going to think of his uniform.
Okay.
Very specific uniform.
Okay.
I'll cast Locate Object.
All right. Locate Object has a range of how far?
1,000. Yep, 1,000.
1,000 feet. Okay. You do get a ping. You start kind of feeling your way back towards the saloon. You get past the saloon, the pair of you, late into the evening now. It's kind of early morning. The wee hours, if you will, and you head off, and you look, and you can see this kind of open, sort of like almost food truck-esque shop with a large overhang, kind of leaning over, two large sticks that keep the prop up, and a pair of individuals that are currently frying up what appears to be some type of noodle dish and a mixture of vegetable medley, and that's when you see your associate, who is standing there looking rather upset with an empty coin purse, as he looks it over and he stares down into it, and you hear, oh no, and he turns it inside out, and he sticks a finger through the bottom of the coin purse. He goes, "Oh, there was a hole in this the whole time. No, oh, darn it. Oh, God."
AJ's gonna walk up and hand him a silver.
You hand him a silver. You like he doesn't realize, he's just like, "Oh, I got that big tip today too." And thank you. He turns and looks at you, and he goes, you two from the don't tell me, from the saloon. Yes, you came and had that ice cream, and your satyr friend had his ice cream all over me. There was so much glitter. Sorry, did I drop this?
No, just get yourself. Get your food. You have everything that you own on you.
Oh, do I have everything on me? I mean, yes, I think I have my boots. I've recently fixed them, and he shows one boot, and it's like tore up and splitting. He goes, and I've got all my new patches in, and my coin purse. I lost all my coins,
That's
but
okay.
I've got all my things.
Ms. Vel, she wanted to extend the offer to come along to Fort Osen with us.
Come along to Fort Osen, to the east from town,
Mm-hmm.
for what would I do at Fort Osen?
Everyone deserves a fresh start, but
Bartholomew, it seems that life has had a rather unfair shake, and I think, in hopes to be good Samaritans, we wish to extend a hand and offer you a chance to step away from just everything that's put you down.
Oh, well, like what I don't really have what you might call savings, and if I don't go to work tomorrow, I'm pretty sure Gerald will fire me.
How would you like to just leave a letter that's just a giant middle finger?
He like stares and then like immediately locks eyes with you, and he goes, "I would love nothing more in this world than to do that to Gerald and his fat wife. Yes. Yes.
Then
But I can't walk away from my job. I would have no way to eat, or I would have nothing. Is there a job opportunity in Fort Osen? I could go and interview. I have a resume. It's more of a oral resume. I don't. The pelicans ate the paper it was written on.
I think it's more of a job opportunity with us, and then if you would choose to find somewhere else that you'd like to settle down, it would always be acceptable.
Oh, but aren't you, you're like Weaver's Chosen or something very scary, is that right?
We are, so there are many inherent dangers, but I'm not asking you to be a warrior or anything.
Of course. Well, with that, I do appreciate it. I'm really a bit out of practice for diplomacy, but I have been known to speak on nobles' behalfs from time to time. Is this like an internship opportunity, or like what's the I don't want to be so uncouth as to ask it, but what's the pay like?
Hmm. 2 gold a week?
Two gold a week, you say?
Yes.
Well, I'll have to consider the offer. It is there are a number of things. I'll take it. You know what? I need to get out there more, and yes, I will be your group's diplomat, your royal speaker. for Weaver's Chosen. And he puts his little hole covered pouch away and kind of like rolls it up and tucks it in one of his pockets, through which you see there is another hole, and you can see his like white and heart boxers kind of peeking out through some of the holes in the back of his pocket. And he goes, I will take this, and I will be your diplomat. Is there much diplomacy in the life and times of Weaver's Chosen?
Shockingly, yes.
Oh, well, I will do my best. And I will avoid all major pepper products for as long as I am with you.
I should hope so.
Do I have to send you a documentation of employment, or do Weavers Chosen pay taxes, or do you kind of just do this thing?
Not really. It's a lot of that's handled by our patron.
Your patron. Okay,
Yes.
okay, good. Patron, right, of course. So you're like subcontracting me. That's fine. I will, and he kind of like tries to gesture like very like fluidly, and as he kips up his cape to wrap it around both of his arms, and like dust kind of kicks free of the cape and he bows, you hear like a small tear in the seam of his outfit again. And he goes, I am humbly Bartholomew Iridan at your service, Lady Dowenvey, and good Lady J. Yes, good Lady J. I believe that's the whole thing.
JJ, but J work.
Even better. I've heard of a Jaybird, and 2 J's are better than 1 J.
Well, I do have those rations from Colt, so
Rations?
I can feed him for a while.
Right then, well, we were about to make way. We have a boat at the ready at the dock to head to Fort Osen. So if you would like to crumple up your uniform and set it on fire in front of the saloon, and we can just be on our way then.
I would definitely love to do that. But it is the only other outfit that I own currently. So I feel like I'm going to keep it until I have to sleep in something. So yeah. Maybe after like payday or something, that would be a lot of fun.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
You want to go write that letter up?
Yeah, let me go write it up real quick.
JJ holds out some paper.
Okay. He takes the paper, and he like kind of like pulls his cape open and like takes a big thing of string, and he kind of like just like pulls at it, and like you hear the ripping of the side of his cape. And he takes it and he goes on your hands and he starts writing, and he flourishes and these very long kind of artistic stylings in Elvish. And it's just 4 words. And he takes it and he goes, gotta deliver this letter. And he walks away and he goes up to the edge of kind of the stone walkway and kicks with his shoes until he finds something that's loose. And he takes up a stone and he takes the paper and he wraps it all around and walks to the front of the building and goes, huh! And you see the stone hit the window and then fall and doesn't shatter the window. He goes, that'll show you with your nice windows. All right, let's go. Someone will come to investigate this. And he starts going to follow you guys. Vel, you read the paper and the 4 words are, hey, Gerald, fuck you. But in like immaculate Elvish, like some of the nicest calligraphy you've ever seen.
JJ's gonna get like a couple platters of whatever he was going to eat, because obviously he forgot about his food and just.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you go through for 2 copper. You can get what is effectively stir-fried chicken with like not fresh vegetables, but like they're like a couple days old. You know, they're cutting around the bad broccoli at this point. But yeah, you get like some like to-go bowls, these little paper craft bowls, and some chopsticks that are handed and dealt to you. The little couple there charges you a silver for 5 portions, but they give you a ton of they give you a whole little box full of these little baked like crackers that kind of come through that smell sweet.
Thank
Like, you have yourself a good night, ma'am.
Thank you very much. You too. We're just gonna zoom up next to Vel and just gonna whisper, "We're gonna be mending his shit all night long."
Yeah, I know. But we'll get there.
Slowly but surely.
He's gonna get killed by something the first time we run into something bad, but man, are we going to try?
Certainly.
All right, so you guys returning back to the snake.
Yeah.
All right, you return to the snake. The 3 of you still on board. Captain Honeycutt continues to talk to you. He goes, so there we were. All right, we had gotten these dogs, and they just bit the shit out of that guy. And then that was pretty much all the story I really had. Remarkable tale. Really, just the tenacity that a dog will have when you starve it for 6 days and feed it nothing but insults. Just such a useful animal. Yeah. And then like you guys, like by the end of this like somewhat half-hour tale, the pair of them return, Buddy in tow, and you see Buddy stop at the very edge of the kind of like walk-in, and he goes, good first impression. Come on, Buddy. Come on. No, Buddy. No. Bartholomew, you are a winner now. Your new beginning. Permission to come aboard, sir. Bartholomew Iridan here. And you're, yeah, feller. Captain Colt Honeycutt, welcome aboard. And he reaches his hand out, and Buddy kind of like takes a big lean forward, not realizing he's still on the dock and Captain's on the boat. And Buddy face plants full hard into the side of the boat, splashes down into the drink, and kind of just, you see a bubble as his cloak hovers above and kind of like bubbles out. And he goes, well, there's a first time for everything, I guess. I was more kind of reaching my hand out as kind of a, hey, how you doing? I didn't mean he should reach to shake it. I'll get the buoy. Hold on, I'll get there's a life ring. I got one over. And he goes in, and you see Buddy kind of like get his cape up out, and he's like slowly kind of like feebly attempting to not drown. And you see Captain Colt Honeycutt reach his buoy and throw it, and just peg Buddy right in the side of the head. He goes, oh, you're supposed to catch that. Shit. I'm sorry, fella. He goes, no, it's all right. It's all right. I'm alive. He climbs onto the buoy. He's, and Colt says, just hang on to it. I'll get you up, friend. And you see Colt roll up his sleeves and start, and start pulling from the drink this now soaked to the bone, shivering elf, and pulls him up and kind of deposits him on the side of the deck. He goes, you know, there's like, you could have walked the walkway. He's, I didn't want to be rude, and it seemed like it was far. Yeah, I'm still getting used to this. He's like, no problem. I'll get you a blanket. A blanket sounds like a good idea.
Bucky will shape water and dry.
You shape water off of Buddy. He goes, thank you. Thank you. Oh, you're that man. I don't think
a little bit of an apology for earlier.
it's no problem. Apology accepted. I was a member working in the service industry, and you were taking use of the service. So, so did you have a good time at the saloon?
Oh, we did.
Then I think I will take that as a compliment for a job very well done. Thank you. You're quite skilled at the magic thing, my good sir. I am Bartholomew Iridan. I will be your group's diplomat moving forward.
You can call me Buck.
Buck, just the one. Is your father named something, or maybe you have a title, or?
Just Buck.
Okay. Buck, you don't happen to be the one who talks with nobility in your group, do you?
We kind of take turns.
Oh, that's distracting. Oh, I mean, of course, as you should. Right. And he starts like walking, like fingers templed, like, and just kind of like nervously walking around, like pretty much like the friend you invite to a party that doesn't know anyone else at the party and is kind of just trying to like blend in and not have a panic attack that there's a bunch of new people. That's about where Buddy is right now.
Well,
The captain looks to you all and he goes, "So, we fishing anyone else out of the lake tonight, or can we head on out to the east?"
I think I can say that we're ready to go.
All right. Well, all aboard. Who's coming aboard? I guess. And he goes and
JJ's gonna also hand out food.
you hand out, and JJ hands everyone chicken stir fry, street chicken stir fry. It's pretty good. It's not like home cooking. It's definitely like a snack, not a meal. Bartholomew does not care. He wolfs it like it's like the most delicious thing he's ever had in his life. And you watch as Captain Colt Honeycutt pulls the drawbridge in, has already untethered from the dock and has just kind of been drifting on the anchor the entire time. And slowly you hear a crank. And you start hearing the as the anchor pulls away. He moves back from the far side of the dock with a long pole and pushes off from it and begins to kind of slowly cast away out towards the middle of the lake. He looks you all over and he goes, "Well, I'll get everything started here for us. There's no food or nothing. I guess you brought your own. That's pretty nice. Yeah, it should just take us most of the night. Probably sail up until early morning. Should be there. We'll say about midday or so tomorrow."
Thank you.
No, of course. I'll be on the wheel if you need me, or you just want to share in a tale. Yep. All right. And he reaches into his pocket and he produces a small tin and he uncorks it and takes a big finger scoop of what looks like dip and tucks it in the front of his lip and goes, "I'm sorry. Terrible habit. Trying to quit, but oh man, just something fierce to me. I tell you what, nothing calms me down quicker than a good piece of tobacco. You guys want a piece?"
I gotta ask. I gotta be the one to ask.
You gotta ask? Oh, it's
Did you?
it's a foreign
No.
brand. I think I got it when I was stationed over in the north.
Captain Honeycutt,
Oh yeah.
did you ever know a red-skinned hobgoblin fella while you were serving?
Red-skinned hobgoblin fellow when I was serving. Well, I mean, that's a little on the nose, miss. I may not look it. I'm a bit older, as you might well tell. But I used to be a red-skinned hobgoblin fellow, to tell you the truth. Back in my heyday, I used to swing my sword and branch my shield like nobody business, Ain't nobody lead a charge like Cole Honeycutt, let me tell you what. But there's a number of fellows in my platoon, yeah. A couple of people. A lot of young kids trying to make a name for themselves. You know how it is.
Well, what's the most amount of snakes you've ever seen?
Oh my God. Let me tell you these snakes, man. So I named this boat after these snakes. All right. When I finally got a boat of my own, I had to name it after snakes. There's this tale. My God. Up in the north, just south of this old shithole called Deerwood. Oh my God. We must have been entrenched 2 months. 500, 600, 700 snakes. It's hard to tell. Man, I tell you, you wake up in the morning, snakes in your soup. You go to sleep, snakes in your sleeping bag. You wake up in the next day, another snake right in your boot. Worst snakes I ever had in my whole life. Got bit on the ass 4 times. Every son of a bitch in my platoon complaining, Captain Colt Honeycutt, we got more snakes. I know we got more snakes. There's nothing I can damn do about it. Just go bitch to your mama. You know, it's just such a, you know, it's yeah. You know, I lost one of my most prized possessions in that snake fest, I'll tell you. Never did find it again.
What'd you
What was that?
lose?
Oh, my wife, God rest her soul in heaven. She had knitted for me before I went away for service this immaculate poncho. It was this kind of really nice hand weave and beaded design that I used to put up over my armor. Kept me warm all night. I let a fella borrow it way long ago, and I'm pretty sure he died or some shit. But man, that was like the last thing I had of her.
Do you think he could have deserted?
Deserted? Nobody deserted from the platoon. Nobody ever deserted. No. We lost a lot of people. We had one fella, his legs got just eaten, and it was the most
Jimmy?
absurd thing. Jimmy, how'd you know about Jimmy? Yeah, oh man, that takes me back. Holy hell. God, weavers be as they may. Yeah, we had this fella Jimmy. Oh, hold on a sec. Sorry, the dip got a little loose. Yeah, this motherfucker, this Jimmy. God, it's been so many years since I thought about Jimmy. What a nice kid until his legs got eaten. But then, you know, there was this whole avalanche situation. I'm boring, y'all. I'm sorry. I tend to ramble. I got a thing.
Can JJ attempt to sketch what their version of Colt looked like?
Oh, sure. Yeah, you can
Can
certainly
I
try.
roll an insight if he is telling actual stories of himself, or is he mimicking stories that he's heard?
Sure. Go ahead and roll insight. And JJ, go ahead and roll performance.
14.
14. You look him over. He continues to kind of speak as an authority on a number of these stories. The way he speaks about it seems like he has a first-hand account. It's really odd, obviously, from especially your history with Colt Honeycutt. But, I mean, he's speaking from a place of knowledge, and it sounds as if he's speaking from a place of authority that a number of these stories did happen to him, too. Or him directly.
Okay.
A 24.
24, you get a CIA's most wanted poster of Colt Honeycutt as you knew him, down to the freckles on his chin. Like, you get just any sunspot and liver spot he ever had. The shading is really good. I mean, they could have caught the Zodiac Killer with this kind of sketch. Yeah, you get the sketch done. What do you want to do?
Captain Honeycutt.
Uh-huh.
Does this fella jog any memories?
Oh, holy shit. There's a face I could punch if I ever saw it again. Yeah, I know that guy. Oh, you ever met this fella? I'm so sorry. Is he in jail or dead or worse, hopefully?
Well,
Please tell me someone caught him and just wrung his dirty ass neck. Please tell me they found him and just kicked him right in the dick. Like, oh man, nothing gets my blood boiling hotter than seeing that fucking face again. Oh my God. Weavers in heaven, please tell me someone chopped his dick off and fed it to the dogs. Absolute asshole.
He is deceased.
Oh, praise be in all 3 of the Weavers that this dirty son of a bitch died. Oh my God. I'm sorry. Were you all close? I'm terrible. I'm so sorry about that. Getting ahead of myself. I'm so sorry for your loss. If that's like the thing you're talking about right there.
Well, now I'm just confused. But so if his name is Colt Honeycutt,
Well, his
If
no, that's
his
my
name's
name.
not Hulk Honeycutt, what is his name, or was his name?
Oh, that would be Lieutenant Lem. Part of Lem's Legion, is how he called it. Kid took up a position real early on in the incursion and was leader of one of the most degenerate military goblin companies I have ever had the displeasure of serving under. This guy did it all. Raping, pillaging, beating defenseless old ladies, stealing soup, kicking people in the knees. At one point, I'll tell you, true as day is bright, he went up to a little kid, stole their lollipop right out of their hand, and smacked him in the face with it. Ugh, I never seen a more deplorable young man in my whole life, and whoever chose to give him power during the military, oh my goodness, I just can't even get over it. You know, I had heard a rumor that he was attempting to become a Weaver's Chosen, but he's nothing but a phony baloney, I'll tell you what. I had heard this story, and I don't know who I exactly heard it from. There are a couple drunk dwarves here over in Orin. They were talking like he apparently showed up with some, I don't know, secret military coup or something like that. He was helping these dwarves up north. Last anyone ever heard of him, I thought he had died or something. Apparently he's trying to make a name for himself as some kind of hero. He ain't no hero. He's a villain, let me tell you what. He's a terrible, terrible monster person. Again, so sorry for your loss if you were friends with him, but oh man, that's just old memory. My war wound is acting up actually. Oh, my ribs hurt just thinking about him. That dirty bastard.
I have some mixed feelings now.
Oh, I don't got no mixed feelings. Let me tell you what, that guy, what an absolute degenerate. You know, he's the kind of fella who, he would just, you'd be suffering all by your lonesome. You might have gotten hit with some shrapnel or some type of fight or something. And then he would just look at you and be like, I gotta go.
See, now that doesn't sound like the person that we knew.
Person you knew, let me tell you what, Lieutenant Lem, oh my goodness. All right, so way back when, and I'm talking way back when, okay, there was, well, myself, right, Captain Colt Honeycutt, Lem, back then I wasn't a captain, I was just I was a private, Lem leading us with his freaking legion when there was just a couple of us old salts that didn't want to quit the war, you know. Billy Bob, Remy, and Manowitz, man, a bunch of them had died after having been seduced by these enchantresses up in a local mud hole far to the west, the northwest. Despite these ugly broads just being the most hideous shade of gangrene ugly I'd ever seen in my whole damn life. Oh my goodness. Like, ugh. And he was just sitting there going, look at them. Look at them, fuck them ugly sirens right there. Take a look, Colt. Look at these dumb assholes. And you know what? Billy Bob, Remy, Manowitz, they weren't bad fellas. They really weren't that bad guys. You know, a couple of them owed me a couple copper pieces from a couple games of cards, but you know, who doesn't owe somebody some money somewhere? And he pretty much, he might as well just pop some corn and gave a look-see and just watched these sirens tear these boys asunder. And he went and pointed the rest of the company and said, look right there. You remember that. Next time you cross me, I'll leave you for dead just like that. And I had to sit there and watch it. And I'm sitting here, you know, I got a good 10 years on him, but quicker than a hiccup. One of the most powerful individuals I'd ever seen swing a sword. Big old mess, if you ask me. Big old mess, if you ask me. Oh, he used to do these poses too. He used to punch himself right in the side of the ribs when he was fighting. So stupid. Huh?
Can JJ roll insight real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
If
What are you trying to insight?
If what Honeycutt is saying is something that you
Sure.
know is truthful or misleading at all, I guess. No.
What's your total?
6.
6. You really look into this and you're like, huh. And he gives detailed accounts. He knows exactly every story that you've presented to him. He literally sits there and is able to recall it like it's a steel trap. And he seems shockingly correct and honest about a lot of this, as weird as that is. You're not quite sure. It's going to be difficult too, because it's like, who's going to argue with him? Your Colt is very dead.
Can I roll an insight to figure out if he is Lem and he has taken the name Colt to cover up his own bullshit of his past and the way he speaks about it?
Maybe? I guess that'd be something you could try. I mean, yeah, go ahead and you could try to roll insight on that. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Just the way he speaks about himself, calling himself Colt, and seeing if there's anything in that to tell if that's where...
Sure, yeah.
Because, yeah. Oh, that's another 14.
14? You really, you're like, and you're running through your memory of Colt. You're running through every conversation you ever had with Colt. You're running through all the good stuff he tried to do every time he stood up for somebody that was lesser than him. And the story, yeah, it doesn't match the Colt you knew, but you have to consider, like, you're several decades old at this point. You're not the same, young girl that left Nymeria. You're not the same foolhardy elf that walked with both arms into Deerwood. You're a one-armed necromancer of ill repute, effectively. But I mean, this individual, whoever he is, claims he is who he is, and there doesn't seem to be anything. It's not like saying that, like, oh, it's an airtight story, but there doesn't seem to be anything in his demeanor that would say, like, he's not sweating bullets, and he's not. There's no tell that you can see.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to just. That's all to take in. And I'm going to have to think about that. But I'm sure you have more tales to tell. And I'm going to go over to Bartholomew and see if I can get him to sit down so I can start mending his clothes.
Oh, okay. If you guys are done with Captain, the Captain goes,
I'm done with Captain. I don't know if anyone else is.
He
but
looks at the rest of you and he goes, let me go grab on the tiller, get us rocking and rolling there. Y'all have any other questions? Anything I might need? We don't have no entertainment on this here venture. Gosh, stuck in my teeth again. What the hell? Yeah, but yeah, y'all need anything? You comfortable? I got a couple blankets I can give you. Ain't much else on here though. Rainwave was supposed to give me a stipend of supplies and a couple things, but he kind of just paid in advance to make sure I didn't skedaddle on him. A deal's a deal. You got to honor your word and all that. Yeah, but I didn't get any of the supplies he had promised, and then there was some kind of crazy bastard came up and just ate them. I mean, crunch ties me, if you know what I mean. It was disgusting, to tell you the truth. I almost threw up.
No, thank you. And JJ's just gonna sit opposite of Belle and just start mending like the cloak.
All right, Lem goes, or not Lem, sorry. Captain Colt Honeycutt goes. I'm like, ooh. Now Vel said it, and I'm like, ooh, that would be a good story though. Captain Colt Honeycutt goes back to the tiller and sits down, grabs it, and starts kind of like angling the small ship back over. For the rest of you, you note and you can see Buddy sat kind of by himself, and Velithil, as you walk up to him, he's kind of like looking, going, oh, okay, well, I am going to be a diplomat again, and I am going to speak on behalf of heroes. And then, good afternoon, Miss Velithil. Hi. Hello. How are you this evening? It's not cloudy, so that's good.
Calm down. You don't have to try so hard.
Oh, good. Okay. I just, it's a lot to live up to, working for Weaver's Chosen, heroes of the land, even. I believe you said you worked under, Grama? Gulanti, yes, that's the one, yes. The Jewel Queen of Deerwood, if I remember right. Tremendous that you have made this for yourself. Your father would be so very proud of you right now, if he could see you this way.
I am curious if he would be. Perhaps someday I'll find out. But for now, you are hoping to be a representative for us and to assist us in our endeavors, and I can't have you looking so atrocious, so I'm going
Oh,
to have to
atrocious.
fix your clothes.
Oh, I'm atrocious. Yes, of course. Please, I cannot compensate you for such, but I must, manners, make the elf, as they say, and, visual appearance is half the fight in the courtroom. Thank you. Should I? And he just starts like taking off his shirt, and he's like, "Here, you take that, and you can take this, and here you go." And he strips. He like strips all the way down, and he hands you all of his kind of like whole and like pretty much torn up clothes, and underneath his outfit, he just cautiously grabs his hat and puts it back on, and he is wearing his uniform underneath his outfit. And he goes, there you go, if you want to mend that right up.
Now that truly is an outfit befitting of being at sea.
Yeah.
And I will then hand half of the pile to JJ so we can start mending.
You start like smoothing out the fibers and cleaning up the patches. And you see Captain Colt Honey cut up the tiller. He goes, "Oh, hey, little sailor. Welcome aboard. You want to work the crankshaft and turn the sails a bit? I mean, we don't have no sails. It's just, I'm happy to have you aboard, sailor." Like that. And he goes, "Yes. Thank you for having me aboard, Captain. I thank you for it." He goes, "Hey, not a problem at all. At least you're dressing the part. I do thank you so much. You want some dip?" He goes, "No, I don't think, I have what you might call an addictive personality, and I don't think, I would do well on tobacco. I think that would be a mistake on my part." He goes, "Oh, what you addicted to?" "Well, I can't afford it anymore, so I guess it doesn't matter." He goes, "Come on now. I mean, we're all a bunch of friends here. Just, what's your poison, kid? Maybe a couple drinks, maybe ladies, anything like that?" "No, black tar horn powder is my my poison." Bucky, you hear this. This is a very, very, very terrible drug that has run through most of the Hollow Hills for generations. And I mean, it's the nastiest, darkest shit you can get. They say, like, that they make this out of summoned creatures' shaved horns and abyssal, like, chips that they then cook it in. And it makes this fine, ruddy black powder that effectively is a deadly, and I mean absolutely deadly poison in large amounts. But in very low amounts, there are a number of satyrs who enjoy getting just absolutely destroyed on this stuff. It has ruined marriages, destroyed lives. It is probably one of the worst drugs in the entire autumnness that exists.
Stuff will rot your brain, buddy.
They say that, but I mean, steel trap. Yeah, I've still got it. There was a time where I would go months and not know where I was or who I was or who I was with, and those were good days. Yeah. It's something to wake up and not know any shame, and anything that gives you that escape is just very appealing. Yeah.
I just want to remind everyone in the party that you wanted this.
I think I need to make
we
an
all-
amendment to the rules of working with us, and that is no black tar horn powder.
Oh, yeah, of course, I would never, on the job, of course, I can't even afford it. It's expensive. Don't worry about that. That's the old Bartholomew, and you're getting new and improved Bartholomew. I'm getting my life together and working at the the good graces of you weavers chosen, and I'm going to be the best darn elven diplomat you've ever had. Or my name's not Buddy.
Your name's not Buddy.
What? You hear Colt at the tiller going, guess that his name was Buddy. That's hilarious.
Just remember, we're offering you a chance here, and if you choose to take the earnings that we give you and dig yourself deeper into, well, wherever that brings you,
Not to worry at all, Miss Velithil. I was in with a very bad crowd back then, and I am no longer associated with those individuals after they left me in a ditch after a night of partying and stole the rest of my life savings. So not to worry, I will be an upstanding member of society as I have been for generations now. It was a very dark time in my life, and I feel I have grown from it, and I thank you so much for this opportunity. I can't express what it means to me. I really it's nice.
good. That's what we're hoping for.
Yes.
And I'm gonna like stare a dagger at Bucky and be like, "Don't give this boy drugs. Whatever you're gonna try and slip to him, because I know you're gonna do it."
Me? What?
No.
And I'm gonna stare a dagger at JJ and be like, "You keep that shine in your pocket."
She's just gonna nod.
Bucky's like, I would never give anyone drugs. Y'all want any drugs?
JJ's gonna yeet a package that she bought way at the beginning of the campaign off the boat.
Just splashes. You hear, oh, is that like a customary thing, JJ?
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't have anything to throw. Should I throw something?
No, it's just for me. Just. For me.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Don't
Is that
worry
a
about it.
religious aspect or
Cultural aspect.
cultural? Oh, I want to honor your culture, of course. Yeah, I don't. Next time I'll throw something.
Good deal.
Very good. So yeah, and you guys start mending it. Anything you guys want to do as the boat begins to take kind of course through the eastern area?
Is there anywhere up near the helm that, like, I don't know, is sort of a lean-to sort of structure that I could, like, request a story from our captain while I lean against something and, like, fall asleep to his dulcet tones of storytelling?
So there's not a like thing to lean against, but the more that you guys take time to kind of look over and kind of examine this small waterborne craft, you realize that this is like a tourist boat. This is not like a ship. This is like a pontoon boat with like a long open passage, and right by him where the wheel is, there are like benches that you would sit on in the open water as you're kind of going down the river. So yeah, you find a bench, you lay down right on it, right in front of him, you go, hit me with your best story. He starts going, oh my God. All right, Weavers in Heaven. This is a heck of a tale. All right. So way back when, now this is pre-meeting your friend that you buried. God rest his soul, I guess. Couldn't happen to a better guy. So before that, we were all working together in this company, and there were these fortune-telling watermelons. Oh my goodness. Okay, so these things could predict the future. We started to hear all kinds of mysterious things, and then, like, as he gets into it, this long-winded, just completely asleep. So yeah, for the rest of you, anything you guys want to do before either beginning rest or meditation or keeping watch or anything you plan to do for the evening? No. Okay.
Druidcraft and check the weather.
Sure. You check the weather. You know that tomorrow is going to be a beautiful, humid day, bright sunny skies, not a cloud in them. And as you pass through much of the northern Aurelian forest border, you can expect a number of creatures that are fey folk that try to maintain this beautiful tropical-esque climate as best as possible, even as far north as this river.
Nice.
If Buddy's okay with it, I'd like to cast Identify on him and see if he is bewitched by some like misfortune or something.
Sure. You go, can I cast Identify on you, buddy? And he goes, oh, I suppose you could. Yes, I've here. If you need my credentials or to know who I am, here you are. And he reaches his hand out.
Yeah, no, spend the time.
All right, you run the ore or this pearl over Buddy's wrist and hands. You begin to summon this kind of dark Faustian servant of your Identify spell, this hooded figure with long features and a drawn kind of like jawline, and you feel these hands pressed on your shoulders and slowly coaxing this magic into your ear, and you hear, what a interesting subject. Bartholomew Iridan from the Aurelian nobility. Once the most esteemed diplomat of his time, he has since fallen on very, very difficult times. He stands a mere short 5'9" of all things, so unbecoming of a high elf. It seems to me his bloodline has possessed him of the ability to enhance his voice via thaumaturgy. He is currently... And, like, you're hearing this, and, like, you see Bartholomew's, like, ears perk up, and he, like, swats at the shadow at your shoulder when he attempts to talk about Buddy's age. He's like, and you just hear, like, several hundred years old. Like that. And there's like this weird like disconnect. He's like, I don't know what that thing is telling you, but it's not all true. Not any of it's true. You hear, after failing to broker peace between the Yuan-Ti people and, of course, the royal nobility within the Aurelian Nymerian government, he was exiled for several hundred years, during a time of which he was branded an outcast and made to be the butt of many jokes among Nymerian culture. To this day, they still speak his name. And it kind of like pitches through, and then it says, "Oh, that's rather interesting. This individual has gambled away much of their self, lost to a number of fey folk."
Thank you, buddy.
Of course, I am more than happy to assist you in any way that I am so able. Is there anything else that you need?
No, trivial.
Very good then. So, I hope you have a good evening. He kind of just smiles. Meanwhile, you still hear from the helm. And then Samuel saw his own death foreseen unto him by these crazy fortune teller watermelons. I'm going to tell you this: when he saw himself die, he had seen one of the watermelons hurling towards him. So we just thought, buddy, you got to get out of here, Samuel. They're going to kill you. What we didn't see coming was that that no good, dirty Lieutenant Lamb had thrown one of the watermelons at Samuel, hit him square in the head, shattered his neck, threw him on the ground, twisted it all sons of ways. I tried to save him. I used my healer's kit, jumped to it with a knife in hand, said, we can save this man. But Lem said, you know what? He already saw himself die. He's no good to us. Let him bleed, kill the rest of these watermelons. Ain't nobody need to know when we die. We don't die today, boys. And it was just, it was a mess. And poor Samuel, his mother, never got to say goodbye to him. I think about that a lot. So how about you there, friend? Oh, you're asleep. Okay, well, I should have seen that coming. You're talking too much, Colt. You're talking too much. Nobody wants to listen to your stories no more, man. Nobody appreciates a good story anymore. Yeah, for the rest of you, anything you guys want to be doing?
JJ's gonna go to Belle after she's done. Say, hey, I just to be safe, I'm just gonna do the usual. Stay up for a bit, watch out, and then I'll head to bed whenever.
Sure. I'll just take my meditation, and then when I'm done, I'll keep an eye out after. Sound good?
Yep, sounds great. Sounds great.
All right.
JJ will keep watch for however long.
Okay. So yeah, you guys maintain watches. You get a long rest in. So everyone here, you guys can activate your long rest. You heal up, you gain half your hit dice, you regain your spells. Morning comes, and you, for those of you who slept, and a few of you that stayed up to keep watch, you note and you still see Captain Colt Honeycutt behind the wheel, kind of just puttering along. Every so often he lets out a long kind of groan, but you see him with a small little side table set up next to him, and he starts pouring what looks to be hot water through beans to get a cup of coffee. And after a while, he sets up a rope holding the tiller still and starts kind of walking around. At some point or another throughout the night, he put a blanket over Orville and kind of just has been like maintaining watch and sipping from a cup of joe. He looks you all over and he goes, well, you all certainly needed some sleep, I'll tell you what. We're still a few hours, probably half a day or more away from that. We're just about to hit the bend that bleeds out of the steam land. So personally, I tell you, cover your hair, any personal belongings you have. The mist that rolls in from that place is something fierce. It's real warm. I'd go ahead and just, do your best. Ladies, if you don't want to have your hair poofed out bigger than a poodle, then I'd make sure you cover up as best you're able.
JJ will do so.
Same.
All right. So with that, yeah. You guys have the much of the morning. You guys partake of rations. Bartholomew asks if he is able to have somebody, if you could just possibly loan me maybe just like a ration this time, and then next time I'll get you back. And that would be great. If I could just have something to eat, maybe.
JJ will kind of just shove what were Colt's rations. I think there's 6, if I'm looking at his thing correctly. 6 rations at him. It's like, here you go.
Okay.
Just take them.
Well,
I don't want them.
Well, thank you so very much. I do appreciate that. Very, very, very happy to have that. Yeah. Thank you so much, JJ. Yes. And he starts like opening them up, and there's like the rations of a hobgoblin, which are like a big piece of dried meat, a couple of what appears to be like pieces of like salt rock, like a good like handful of beef jerky, because meat with meat, and then like a small thing of dip that's included in all his rations. So he rationed it out ahead of time. And Bartholomew looks at it and goes, "Are you supposed to eat this thing?" And you see the captain go, "Oh shit. Hey, thanks, fella. Oh man, it's still got flavor. And how about that? That's some good stuff right there. Man, thanks, little buddy. Appreciate you. And he goes and heads back and unties the tiller and sits back down after stretching his legs. But yeah, time passes for the most part fairly uneventfully. When the dawn first hit, you don't hear anything untoward or anything devastating happening. You can't hear the broadcast out of King's Plummet, and overall, it's just a very peaceful and calm morning, probably one that you haven't had in quite some time. As you guys travel and traverse through the river throughout much of the morning and into mid-afternoon, we're going to take a break. We will be back. Let's see, it's 8:30 on the nose here. Let's call it, 10 minutes? We go 10 minutes? Let's call it 10 minutes. So it'll be 8:40 Eastern Standard Time when we come back. And when we return, of course, there will be more Second Wake Dungeons and Dragons. See you guys in a bit. See you soon. Bye. What's up? Hey, welcome back from break. That was the clap for YouTube. YouTube, you don't know about the clap, but the clap exists. We call it the clap. Anyway, the cool thing is always, if you guys stuck with us after the break, I can't see chat. I don't read chat. They read chat. They're seekers of Galanti. That's called being a hero. Only villains don't read chat, and I am the best villain that has ever villained. But if you guys have ever stuck around with us after the break, as always, I thank you tremendously. It's really cool to be able to watch the rebroadcast when I'm editing and being like, holy crap, we had a whole 8-9 people after the break. That's cool. So yeah, you level 20 characters. I do thank you so much for sticking with us after the break. Before we went on break, the group was sailing down the river. That's the easiest part, sailing down the river. At the riding aboard the Snake, waterborne craft, kind of like a tourist boat, piloted by the great and powerful Captain Colt Honeycutt, and his list of amazing accomplishments and tales, his long-lived stories and adventures that he has imparted to this young group of adventurers, and the discovery that he knew who they have drawn, and he has known them as the dastardly Lieutenant Lem, from Lem's Legions, and this just monster of a person, and unfortunate revelation. They've also come to terms and identified Buddy, our elven friend, as Bartholomew Iridan. Bartholomew himself is just in it in a bad way, just having a bad life. After an identify spell, much was confirmed that he's just an elf on hard times who may or may not have sold a lot of himself to Fey folk in exchange for unknown things, because that was a use of the identify spell, which I forgot to do. I need to be better on that, announcing that the spell has been used. Fun stuff there. So yeah, we bring it right back from break. Here we go. Yeah, you guys are riding along the Snake, heading for Fort Osen. You guys are traveling along right away. Captain Colt Honeycutt jumps back onto the till, begins to pull hard to the south and tilt along the very heavy bend in the river, and begins to kind of pull forward. You can see the tree line dotted with a number of freshly dying trees. Many of them are shedding much of their, I shouldn't say dying, they're just shedding for the season. As we're getting closer to winter, these trees begin to fall apart and kind of grow in their winter leaves, flora and fauna. And yeah, as you guys can look into the horizons, it seems to be a very peaceful day on the river itself. As you guys are walking aboard the vessel, you note there is a particular smell that exudes from the air above. Those of you perceptive enough, Morgan especially, you kind of catch wind and catch whiff of the smell. It smells like fire. Very much so. It kind of smells like burning wood in the air.
Well, can any of us see smoke? smoke or anything?
Sure. You look around, you can see to the south, there is a dark jet black cloud of smoke that billows high into the sky. Again, it is a clear, non-cloudy day. The sun could not be better for a beautiful lakeside retreat. And you look, and there is an inferno of a tower column of black smoke just south of your current position. Captain calls out on there and goes, "Oh shit, what the hell's all that about?"
Could I try and like figure out about where on the map this this pillar of smoke would be originating from?
It could be anywhere far from the south, but giving your viewpoint from here on the river, it'd be difficult to say if there's any one place you could really pinpoint, unfortunately. Even with like double, triple nat 20s, you're kind of like, it's south of your current position. It'd be somewhere along probably the hollowed hills, or even as far reaching east as the northern Aurelian forest. But it's very difficult to discern from just the boat side.
Okay.
Hey, Buck, could you send Frick up maybe? See if you can see where that's at. If it's not too far or if it's super close or something.
Yeah. Bucky will send Frick up
Okay.
to his max height and see what he can see.
Sure. Frick flies high into the air and gets a bird's eye view, as it were, of the situation at hand. Frick soars through the area. You move your vision from yourself to the bird, and you look out some many miles south of your position, far from the river. You can see an entrenched circle of carved and broken trees that have been sharpened to a fine point, and the makings of what looks to be a camp. Large posts have been set up, and you can see this massive burning pyre sat in the middle of it, and a number of creatures dancing around it, their shadows cast upon the bright winter day.
Seems to be some kind of camp with a people dancing around a fire of some kind.
Chichi will give him a double tap as a yes. Understood.
Can he tell what kind of creatures they are dancing?
Not from this distance. It's several miles off.
Gotcha.
You're really not seeing the creatures as much as you're seeing their shadows kind of like spread out across this clear day.
And would Bucky know this area?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Bucky grew up here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is an area
So the
that's
Hollow Hills, or
no.
or
You look it over, and
forest?
it looks to be right on the ridge before you descend into the Hollow Hills themselves. There is a large tree-borne clearing where normally this is supposed to be a protected forest where no one is allowed to hunt, till, lumber, or effectively deal with the forest themselves. But it looks like these people have cleared out a large swath of trees for whatever this campgrounds is, and currently are burning mass amounts of wood. Like, it is a heavy, darkened wood smoke that permeates into the air above and creates its own little cloud.
Bucky's gonna say, I don't like this.
Well, this is your home. You're more familiar with it. Do you want to intervene?
Part of me does.
Any objections?
You hear the captain go, I don't particularly have an objection, but I was kind of paid just to take you to Fort Ocean. I mean, if y'all...
Well, we can pay you to stop for a little bit then.
Now that's what I wanted to hear, ma'am. A lot of people say that elves aren't the smartest people, but you are in fact the smartest race. I think constantly I find myself amazed by how brilliant elven women and men are.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of elves say that.
Yeah.
So,
in the event you do make landfall, mightn't you need somebody to watch your back out there in the field? Not for nothing, but I couldn't help but notice you all are a few barbells shy of any type of muscle in your group.
Actually, yeah.
Well,
Maybe.
back in the war, I was technically the heavy. If you don't know what that means, it means I'm rather strong. could offer my services to you on a contractual basis. Maybe call it, I don't know, 10 gold for the trouble?
I think that's a call for Ms. Vell.
Offer on the table. You know, it's just going standard rate for mercenary work. And you see,
I appreciate the offer. We can handle our own.
oh, I'm sure you
Captain.
could. Just offering my help wherever I can. All right. You know, you all know best. And he kind of just like starts bringing in. He goes, "So am I making landfall, or are we moving down this river?"
Give Bucky a double check that this is what he wants to do.
Yeah. He wants to investigate.
All
It's
right.
not too close to home.
Bring us to a stop.
All right, you got it. As he starts pulling in towards the shoreline, you kind of see Bartholomew going, 10 gold is standard mercenary work. I am working for 2 gold pieces. I really, I've got to prove myself. He walks up to Orville. He goes, Mr. Judd, was it?
Indeed, sir.
Mr. Judd, I couldn't help but notice that you are a man of fighting potential. I was perhaps wondering if you might have a weapon that I could brandish in battle, and I could watch your back, sir. I could be the knife in the dark that others will fear and respect. He says this still wearing his Sea Salt and Sunday Saloon sailor's outfit.
I'm sorry, you can't have him stick. As far as weapons go, I'm pretty light on him, but I'm pretty sure Morgan has a knife or 3 hidden on a person somewhere.
Right. Morgan.
Be careful how you ask, though, because if you ain't asking nicely, that knife might end up inside you and not in your hand.
That sounds awful. Has she done that a lot?
Oh, she's been known to, perforate people, things.
Right. Okay. Duly noted. Thank you, Mr.
Happen to be a person, so.
Thank you, Mr. Judd. I am morbidly terrified now. Thank you. As he kind of like walks up and he pulls the kind of parade gloves at his hands, and he kind of crosses his fingers and goes, Miss Morgan, I don't want to bother you. You seem rather busy. I was informed by Mr. Judd that you are the weapon rough and tumble member of the group, and that I might be able to requisition an armament of some kind so that I can hold my own in the fight and watch your back.
You're muted.
Who's that? Casting silence.
I'm not muted.
There you go.
Oh, my headset was unplugged.
Oh, derp.
Oh.
It's like this little connector that just unplugs whenever it wants.
Ooh.
Okay. I think I might have something.
Oh, good. Something might work. Yeah, if you have a like a cavalry saber, or maybe like a rapier, or something elegant that I could win the hearts and minds of the group by brandishing in combat.
I'm just gonna pull out my beat up short sword.
You like
Hand it over.
you hand him this like really gritty short sword that's been resharpened 16 times, and you like kind of toss it to him. He goes, oh, and he grabs it and goes, oh, and he goes, that is a very, and he pulls it out and he's like, that is a mean looking weapon right there. That is, yeah. And he kind of like thrusts it in the air very like haphazardly, and you can tell he has very like non-firm wrists, and he just has no control over a weapon. He goes, yes, we'll be ready for anything. And he goes to sheath it and immediately stabs the other side of his hand, missing the sheath. He goes, that's smarts. Oh, that's smarts. And he slowly, like gingerly, like holds it like up in front of him and slowly slides it in top to bottom. And he goes, thank you. I will return this to you when the fighting is done. I will, yes, I will do that. I will do that. I will be a hero. I will be among heroes. I will be the diplomat to heroes. Yes, okay, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. I will return this to you in the condition you gave it to me, with slightly more blood on it, hopefully.
Did we finish up fixing his other clothes?
Yeah, you managed to kind of get most of the repairs done.
So we'll return his clothes to him.
He starts putting them on top of his other outfit, as before, and kind of returning to it.
Now,
Oh, that one has something back on.
Bartholomew, I'm not going to say that you can't join us in this endeavor, but I just want to let you know you are not required to if you don't feel you're quite up to it yet. We don't have any armor or anything. I'm not sure exactly how you prefer to fight.
I am a man of words and diplomacy, and I know that you should. And he kind of points to Orville. He goes, "You should talk softly, but carry a big stick." So I've got this handsome weapon on my hip, given to me by Miss Morgan in her generosity, and so I've got the big stick too, and I'm just as good as that Captain Honeycutt. He kind of leans into Velthy because I must be honest though, he is massive. I mean, wow, what a big guy. Like, does he just work out all the time? You think, how many push-ups do you think he does in like a day? Because I do like a yoga routine, and I can kind of stretch, but I don't. He's like a mushroom cloud almost. He's a big fella, big guy. It's real intimidating. But I'm just as good as that. I'm just as good as that. Yeah.
Right. Don't be afraid to fall back. You don't have to prove anything.
Not to worry.
This isn't what we brought you here for.
Not to worry. I am afraid of everything, so nothing will fear me further. Of that you have my guarantee. In Iridan idiom, if you will.
Yeah, that doesn't have the same meaning anymore. People would, you don't want to know what that means back home. Let's get it going.
No, that was my thing. He's like falling off the. He's like, no, people used to say that all the time, like idiom Iridan. I just had all the sayings, and people would quote me. And like the boat.
People still quote you.
Yeah, the boat kind of like makes landfall. And Captain Colt Honeycutt kind of looks you all over and goes, "All right, so about how long you think you're gonna be?" Not to rush or nothing. I just want to make sure,
What did you say they were a few miles off, Bucky?
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine it'd be more than a few hours.
All right, few hours. All right. Well, I got one of these here sparklers back from the last celebration. I'll shoot it up once nightfall hits. If you have some way to communicate back to me that you're still alive, I'll stick around. But if I send up that sparkler come nightfall and you don't send me a sparkler back, I'm gonna have to leave. I don't want to. I mean, nothing against y'all. You seem like great people. But Rainwave did die last night, and that was pretty much my meal ticket for the last couple weeks. So employer, you know what I mean. So yeah, just if you could let me know if I should stick or should I go, I'd appreciate it.
Well,
how about a duck sound? How about a large quack? Is it quack? Yes, I can throw my voice. It's one of my things I can do. I could quack very loudly, like quack, and if you hear it, then you would. I mean, if we're just a few miles off, he'll hear it for miles.
I think we have means to send a few things up, or if an owl happens to come and land here.
An owl? You got an owl?
What just happened?
You got an...
Everything froze.
Oh, is everything frozen?
Okay, so people can still hear each other.
Yeah, we're good.
Mhm.
Hello?
Oh, there it is.
Oh, wait, okay, their
was-
existence is back.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad that
And
wasn't just me. I thought the universe just froze.
I
Oh.
was terrified.
There it goes.
I didn't ever see the freeze, so I was like, what are you talking about?
We all just saw everything stop and no one was saying anything, and like your audio cut,
Oh, weird.
so it was just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, so Colt Honeycutt asks if you guys have an owl. You all got an owl?
Yes, we do.
Oh, tremendous. It'll be just like the story I knew, where we had to sneak messages back and forth in the trenches using cave rats. And well, the cave rats, they started catching them using cats. So we had to use birds. And, you know, the cool thing about birds is that if you feed them a rat, then you can send a message. They don't know that it's a messenger bird. You shoot that bird down, you cut its stomach open, you go get that messenger rat. You know, a tremendous story.
Don't shoot my bird.
Oh, it'll just land normally, like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
it'll
That
just
is-
disappear, actually.
A well-trained
You
bird.
shot it.
All right, fair enough. Well, I will keep an ear out for a bird.
Alright, let's go take a look.
All right, you guys have fun. You know, if you change your mind, you need a little bit of protection, just send me one of them there owls. I will come running. Let me tell you what.
Much appreciated.
Hey, happy to be appreciated. Right back at you, darling.
Just gonna squint at the darling and just walk away.
Hey, you know, not enough people give good compliments. I feel like I'm at the top 10% of all people that give compliments. And you just see like Bartholomew, like his confidence is exhausting. That is great. Got to be more like that. Got to be more like that. Yeah, that's good. And he starts walking off, but the dock bridge is given to you. You guys are given passage into the southern area of the Optimus.
I think, we follow our nose and follow the general direction where Bucky saw whatever the hell that was.
Yes, and once we get close enough, I've got my charge back. We can make someone invisible, send someone in to do a little bit of investigating if it's necessary.
Mm-hmm.
See what we're dealing with.
Sure.
I'd like to nominate Bucky for that. He seems to know. He knows. He's from this area.
You would
He
be
knows
able to
what-
perhaps identify what's going on,
Mhm.
Bucky, so if you're up
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, I might be down for that.
I'll be here in the event that we want to talk to them. I will do that for you.
We have to have an understanding of what's going on before we decide what we want to say or do.
Oh, of course, yes, of course. Stupid, of course. I can do that. Yes, of course. Yes, of course, as you would say. So you guys head southward. Bucky leading the group. Bucky, are you trained in survival?
No.
Nope. Okay. You have perception.
Not training perception, but I have 10.
A 10. Okay. You can certainly roll it.
All right. Oop. I got a 4.
A 4. So you guys begin traveling southward. You start heading in the direction of the smoke. Every so often, though, you do note Bucky kind of like stop, sniff the air, turn, look, and go, whoa, man, this is still here. Look at this thing. And he starts like rubbing his hand on one of the trees. He's like, God, this was a sapling back when I was last here. Look how well this is coming in. And like, just keeps finding little attractions. Like, oh, check it out, winter berries. And like, stops in the tray. He's like, get it right out. And guys, you can put these in a tea, and it's like it cures anything that ails you, your stomach. I used to wolf these things down. Wow, that's so great. And like, it's a lot of like 10 and 20-minute detours as Bucky like kind of returns back to like,
Does
I'm in my
anyone else want
hometown.
to take the lead?
I'd be happy to. I think we froze again.
We
Did
did.
we?
Yeah.
Indeed, we did.
Ooh, no.
But
Mhm.
I'll help. JJ does want to take some of those winter berries in one of her empty jars.
Sure. Write down that you have a clutch of 10 winter berries. They're little blue and red berries.
Right. Um,
And you can put a note that they cure indigestion. But they won't do an upset stomach or diarrhea. You gotta find a different berry for that.
damn.
Yeah, gotta make a pink berry.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
JJ will offer her assistance in heading the correct direction
Sure.
and keeping everyone on track.
Are you trained in survival or perception?
Perception, got
Alright.
expertise.
Go ahead and roll perception. You're kind of looking for the pathway through this like collection and clutch of forestry.
Nat 20.
Fair enough. You start walking with Bucky. Bucky still every so often be like, oh, check it out. Look, the beavers are in. Look, they dug a little, look at that little molehill. Oh man, isn't that great? Like just, again, like come back to your hometown. Like, whoa, they put a pizzeria. And it's like that, like every person who leaves their hometown for years and then comes back is like, whoa, they put a Kmart here? Dude, we finally got a Kmart. It's the same kind of like feeling. JJ, you reach up and just grab Buck by like one of his horns, and you're like, "Come on!" And you start marching him through the forest land. It's like, no, hold on a second. But JJ, hold on, look at that though. Look at that little robin's nest. Look at that. They don't usually migrate this far. He's just like pointing things out. So yeah, eventually you guys, after a few hours of travel, it gets to be a little bit past noon at this point. The sun kind of crests and finds its position overhead. You can feel this kind of good heat, but there's still that moisture in the air. So it's like, it's a little bit of a stingy burning sensation. Anyone from Florida kind of knows. But for the most part, it's not too wet. You're not in the swamp. You are in effectively a very beautiful forest. You come to an open clearing that has been completely decimated, and I mean laid to rest, and you can see down this small kind of reach as it kind of moves down this collection, this clearing of forest with these massive logs that have been cut clean from the trees themselves, sharpened and made as stakes that are angled out in various different directions to kind of prevent things from charging into the camp. And you look and you see this massive pyre, and alongside it, you note there are various sticks impaled on the ground with large kind of bones and fetish trophies of birds and other types of collected works from dead creatures that have been adorned on these various stakes. And you also notice, especially with the natural 20, you notice right away, standing to the north end from the entrance of this camp, there's a clear opening, but there are two very tall stakes, and both of them have a customer attached to them. Nailed onto this long kind of pole are two young-looking satyrs that have been impaled onto these large stakes.
I'd like to catch mage armor.
Bartholomew goes, do you have another one of those? Just
Buck,
another mage armor that you could... no,
It's a
okay.
personal use sort of thing.
Of course,
Try
of
and
course.
teach you how to do it sometime.
No, I'm good. I'll figure it out. Yeah, I think that's a thing I should learn. Yeah, okay, yeah. Buck, are these friends of yours?
What was that, JJ?
Do y'all have any sort of enemies or any idea what? I don't know if you could see into there a little more. I really don't know.
Can Bucky do a history check, or would he not just know this?
You look it over and it's strange. Anything this close, especially within about 50 to 100 miles of the Elder Oak, this should never happen. Especially within warm water, like you're pretty close to warm water. You're just like maybe a half day's journey on foot to warm water. This should never happen. As to why it's happening, it's news to you. I mean, it's been years, almost a couple decades at this point since you've returned. But go ahead and roll. If you're trained in religion, you can attempt to figure it out, or insight. Either one of those trained skills you can roll.
Neither of those.
All right. You can always ask.
And we don't see anyone?
No, you see a collection of shadows, like
Okay.
tons of them, deeper into the village. But I figured you wanted to kind of observe this before getting within eyesight of them.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if
Yeah.
now we got a better kind of shape of who was
Mhm.
behind this potentially.
Yeah.
If it's still too far.
As you guys are looking
I
it
don't-
over, Bartholomew of all people kind of goes, "Oh wow, that's rough. That's rough, buddy. Wow, yeah. Well, you know what they say: you live in the swamp, you're gonna get bit. It's an old idiom I used to hear all the time.
I don't think Buck should be the first one walking in here.
Hmm.
To be honest.
Well, if they aren't fans of Faye, I think the only person amongst us who and Orville. Yes.
Who is not a fan of Faye?
Well, I mean, I don't want to assume when people are stringing up satyrs, they might not like elves as well.
Oh, are you not used to that writing? And he points, and there's literal just blood splatter that doesn't seem like it has any shape, form, or anything. He goes, that's written right there. Keep out, intruders. This land is claimed. It's all just written right on
Written
the
in
side.
what?
He kind of narrows his eyes. He goes, it's really poor Yuan-Ti, but it looks to be what I would note as lizard folk writing. Kind of a mixture of primordial, but they're rather sloppy about it, and they've adopted their own language for it. Yeah, the trophies are usually a dead giveaway. They like to build those. Yeah.
They might not be a fan of elves.
Depends. They
Well, this far away,
big
they
fan of
probably
drinks.
aren't really in service as Duchess or anything.
Oh, I don't think lizard folk have truly subservient to the Duchess. I have not heard anything about that. But they've always been precocious, to say the least. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Weird to see them so far north.
That's what I was thinking.
They don't belong here, that's for sure.
Well, I mean, everyone has to belong somewhere, Bucky.
They may have left the swamps in protest, trying to claim this land as theirs.
Maybe. I don't know that I mean, there's more lizard folk than just exist within the swamps of Ilzur. There are a number of tribes that habitate along the coastal regions. There were some for a time that called the Great Falls their home. If memory serves, there are a few tide callers that are just south of Flitwood Forest who habitate off of a small island coast. Lovely people. Very cannibalistic, but past that, they make, to this day, probably the best gumbo I have ever had.
Good to know.
Do you make the gumbo out of them?
Oh, I didn't make any of the gumbo. No, they cooked, and I was fed the gumbo. One of their leaders took a liking to me. I believe the phrase was, I spoke funny, and that was entertaining to them.
Suppose it's better to speak funny than to taste funny.
I suppose so. That seems like a rather dark sentiment to hold, Mr. Judd.
I mean, if you say they're out there cannibalizing people, look at the alternative.
Well, they cannibalize themselves.
Just themselves, no other races.
Wouldn't be cannibalism.
Yeah, it wouldn't be cannibalism. That's so, Mr. Judd. I don't want to insult your intelligence. Cannibalism is when you eat others of your own race. Being a carnivore is when you eat other races.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Oh, they are in the gumbo.
Oh, yes. No, there was meat in the gumbo. I didn't ask a lot of questions. Sorry, I was distracted by the question.
Bucky, this is still your home. How do you want to play this?
We need to find out what's going on, and if we can, fix it.
Well, if they don't speak common, you might just be earning your pay. Okay, I looked Bartholomew.
Oh, Bucky, you're going to earn your pay today. Well, I didn't know you were also under contract.
No, Bartholomew,
really-
you. None of us speak Yuan-Ti or any of the
Oh.
lizard folk languages.
Oh, well, I don't want to insult them with Yuan-Ti. Yuan-Ti is a very noble and pervasive language. Does anyone have a stick or a like tree branch I could use, maybe? And I'm going to need a water pouch if that's something you could loan me.
Yeah, we've got plenty of those.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So yes, I could lead negotiations with our two groups. I don't see why not.
Well,
It's nice.
that seems like it'll be a thing. JJ's gonna look around on the ground for a stick.
Sure. Easy to do. You look around the area. You find a very hefty looking stick with like tons of leaves and foliage still on it. As you kind of look it over, Bartholomew kind of takes it up from you and give me 1 second, sorry. Takes it up from you and begins to kind of look it over. And he goes, yes, no, this will work tremendously. And yes, I should be able to use this. And then if anyone has a water a skin or a canteen I could borrow, I would appreciate it.
JJ will hand one of her spares.
All right. You hand over a spare. Yes. Okay, cool. So, with that, you hand it to me. He looks at it and goes, so I have everything I need to enter into communication and negotiations with these people. Is there anything that we want to get a point across about? I haven't done this in a while, but typically when entering into diplomatic relations, we want to be as welcoming of their culture as possible, non-judgmental. Do we have something we want in return from them, or of that nature? Would there be anything as a guide or go by that I should be aware of?
We need to find out why they're killing satyrs and why they're here.
That seems like a good start. Yes, I think so. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have a gift?
What would
What
be
sort
a
of
good
gift would you-
gift?
I mean, anything really. We once weaved in negotiations with their people a crown out of fresh twigs, and we adorned it with a number of intricate berries and offerings, kind of like a solstice kind of crown, or like a festival harvest crown, just to let them know that we thought they were special and that they are valued, and that of course we welcome them as equals in this. Typically, lizard folk races are very quick to anger, as they are, well, many would describe them as apex predators among their own people. So you want to start on the best relations possible with them, or typically they will act rather aggressive, and you'll not get anything out of the conversation. You'll have to call the guards. The guards will yell at you about wasting their time. It's a whole thing, really. I'd prefer to just start on the right foot on that one.
Well, I actually did get those winter berries, so we could make a kind of
You could
winter
start.
solstice style crown with that.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
something.
Do a crown, or like a maybe just like a pouch. I could just offer them fresh harvest of winter berries. Yeah, I think I could make that work. Just something to put them on. And he kind of takes it and goes, "Oh, okay, yeah, yep, okay." And he's got like a
jar,
branch
yeah.
and the berries and the water skin. He's like, "All right, we've got all the things to do this. Let's do it. If we have to defend ourselves, just make sure you shout self-defense so we know that it's, no one gets brought into court over it."
Would you like me to carry something for you?
Could you, and he just hands the berries back. He's like, "Could you just, I'm sorry to ask for your help. I know I'm supposed to work for you, but I only have
Should
two
I?
hands, and,
Should we let you just do all of the conversating?
well, I'll translate whatever you want to say. Really, I work for you. You tell me, boss.
What I'm saying is to not mess this up. Should we let you do the talking?
Well, I'll
Well,
advise you, of course.
Gesturing.
I would advise, if you tell me, like, hey, this, that, or the other, I'll at least tell you, like, I think personally that's a little bit rude, or I'll tell you what I think, if you want my advice. But otherwise, I'll just, one for one, whatever you tell me, I'll tell them, and then I'll translate over as best I can what they say. There's a lot of emotion in lizard folk societies, so it's hard to convey these complex meanings in their words just from speech. It's a lot of, it's a whole thing. So I could tell you, he thinks you have a delectable amount of flesh, but they might say it in a way of, they find you intimidating as a fellow predator, or there's just words that they would use that sound bad, but really it's how they compliment, if you understand that.
All right.
Alright, does anyone want to make ready in any other way? And does anyone want to be invisible?
I would love to be invisible right now, actually, yes.
You won't be able to do a very good job of interpreting.
Right, that's the problem. Yep. Yep, okay, can't hide. Yep, gotta do the job. Gotta do a great job. You've got
I'm
this. You're the
worried that
best.
my presence might be disruptive. If they're
I
killing
think all of our
strangers.
presents are going to be disruptive.
Hmm.
Yes, Mr.
Well, then I won't hide. I'll go along with you.
Yes, Mr. Buck, I think you'll be quite all right. Typically there's no reason that they would be overtly hostile to you. I mean, yes, there are certainly dead satyrs on those sticks right there, but they're very reasonable individuals once you've met them.
It's up to you, Bucky, if you want to hold back or if you want to
I'll
be
just stay
invisible.
towards the back of the group.
Alright.
All right. Well, are we ready then? Anything else we want to do? No? All right. Well,
Let's
so
go.
the Bartholomew kind of leads the group, and he's like starts walking. You do know as soon as he enters into the area, he starts taking the branch and like shaking it and tapping it across the ground, and kind of like motioning and like making a bunch of noise as he's tapping it. And then he starts holding it behind him and like slapping it against the ground behind him, and like very much vocalizes that he is moving forward. You start hearing this kind of like, he starts kind of like clearing his throat. You hear this, yes, I think I've still got it. Here we go. It's deep in there. Oh, I have not done this in a while. And he continues to like tap this branch, and then eventually he kind of stops. And you guys come to view inside of this like kind of camped area. There's a massive pyre of tons of broken and like chopped up trees that have been thrown full boards on there. There are a number of kind of musings of what appear to be small camp houses, like long processed boards and logs that seem to have been made for lumber for housing people that likely have lived in this forest or this clearing that is currently on fire. There are strewn pieces of gear, equipment, brightly colored stones, coins that have been spattered across the grounds, and you see a large collection of these lizard folk kind of like turn and look. You see Bartholomew uncork the water skin and pour a puddle in front of him. For a moment, if you didn't look immediately at him, you'd swear he's peeing himself. Kind of makes that pattering sound, making a pool. And he takes the branch and starts lightly tapping it into the water, and starts kind of going like, I think that should be good afternoon, great ones. I think that's just about. Oh, offer them the berries. Just put the berries, hold the berries out, and then put them on the ground. And you like put them on the ground. He goes, and he starts tapping the branch into the water again. You look and you can see a few of them look very cautiously and confusedly pick up what looks like sharpened stone weapons. Some of them have very heavy looking metal weapons that seem to be crafted or bought. And one of them walks forward, this very dark jet blue lizard folk kind of walks through. You note that one of their arms has been replaced with a crab claw, and they're holding a knife tucked up underneath their arm. They look like this. And they walk forward to kind of with these blood red piercing eyes and a very heavy looking maw, kind of move forward. And you see this kind of like arm reach up and the crab claw clicks together. And he goes, oh, I don't, and like kind of like just calls out, and there's no response. There's just this clicking sound, and you see there's like 3 or 4 other lizard folk kind of flanking behind this one, and it kind of stomps its tail a few times in quick succession on the ground before hissing, and then kind of turning the hiss from a into a like more of a deep guttural sound. And Bartholomew go, oh, okay, that makes way more sense. Again, my lizard folk is a bit rusty. They say that we are in the presence of the great conqueror and lumberer of the elder oak. I don't think the tree has ever been lumbered before, though. So that's weird. I might be getting that a little mixed up. I'm sorry, but what do you want to? And he kind of like bows and goes, suffer, and slaps. And you start noticing he's using the branch to emulate having a tail, so that when he speaks, he can kind of slam this like sound and this like pacing to kind of give emotion to what he's saying. And then he turns back to you and he goes, I've informed them that we are the weavers chosen far from the north, or you are, and I am your interpreter, and that you have come with questions. They say to speak. What do you want to ask them first? And you see these like 4 or 5 lizard folk kind of eyeing you over. The one in front holding very like tightly this big heavy looking stone carved knife. The other ones that were dancing and kind of frolicking around this large fire have slowly collected onto the west end of the camp and are just staring. You note in total there's about 15 lizard folk that are in this like small camp.
Ask them to tell us of their great conquests here.
Okay, I think I can do that. He turns back and you hear this like it's sorry. And you kind of hear this like hissing, and then the crab claw kind of like slams and clacks against its chest multiple times, and starts kind of like bellowing this kind of like guttural like and it's like right, and it continues on for like a few minutes of this effectively story. He turns back to you all as he kind of like taps the branch a few times, emulating a tail again, and goes, apparently they mounted an offensive, I guess a number of weeks ago or something, on the Elder Oak, but were rebuffed by local forces. Apparently, a member of their tribe from far to the south has fallen ill with a sickness of the land, if that makes sense. And apparently their shaman has divined that the only way to save them is via the sap at the core of the elder oak. Does that make sense to anyone? I don't know.
Can you?
The tree sap's all the same, right?
Does Bucky know anything about this?
Bucky is very aware of that. Bucky, when you swore an oath and you became a warlock of the Elder Oak proper, the sap that was coated on the seed that you took within you was from the core of the Elder Oak. It is a very, very, very personal, very ritualistic process, and it is only ever tapped from the tree once every generation.
Can you find out where exactly they are from?
Sure, yes. And he turns back and goes, and kind of and goes, oh, and takes the branch and like remembers to tap at the last second. And you see like a few of them like, and then like he does the tapping, they go, and like kind of calm down, because it you can understand slowly. Those of you of like higher intelligence and insight kind of note that asking like, where are you from, there's no nice way to say it. So it's just kind of like it's turning a phrase of where are you from, like tell me, to where are you from, like, and it's all in how the tail reflexively taps the ground and how they're able to convey emotion, since much of their face is a lizard folk. There's not a lot of motion of their jaw other than this big heavy bite, so they use other types of body language to convey complex emotions. And after a response, Bartholomew turns back and goes, they are saying that they are from the land past the Valrorian mountain range, just to the south of the settlement in the mists. If my memory serves, that should be just past the Great Falls, which would check out. It would mean that they are from one of the more tropical areas to the south, which also makes them a free nation and free tribe. They're most likely not under the directive of either Nymeria or Ilzer. They likely don't swear fealty to Cragmaw. You start hearing the slapping sound from him. He goes, "Oh, I'm sorry." And he turns back and goes, he turns back and looks at Bucky. He goes, Mr. Buck, they are demanding that you give them the sap from the tree. Do you carry that on you? Is that like a thing you have? We can just give them and then we can go.
No.
Right. Any just want me to tell them no, or is there like maybe an explanation we want to offer? Usually it helps if we're like forthcoming and we tell them like, hey, you're misunderstood or something, or don't eat people or whatever. I mean, they're gonna eat people.
Tell them if they sacrifice half their warriors on the pyre that I'll give them the sap.
So you have the sap.
I'll get it for them.
Okay, that's like, so that's for real though. You're not.
That's what you're gonna tell them.
Okay,
Bucky.
so Bucky, Mr. Buck, I am skilled in many things for diplomacy. Lying is not a thing that I am good at, especially when it is in my non-native speaking language. I could try, but I will tell you, I have what is known as a tell, in that I start sweating profusely and then throw up.
Well, we wouldn't want that.
Yeah. So maybe let's workshop that a little bit. Maybe we tell them, I don't know, can any of you cure diseases maybe? Maybe that's a thing that we could help with, or... Because they're planning an assault in a bit, apparently.
I could assist, perhaps. if they wouldn't mind I could try.
Their
'Cause
leader
I
is south of here, correct?
Correct. They made notice of the lands in the mist, of which they call their home, the heat of the Great Fall, and the free tribes of the south. I would assume that would be just outside of Missport, probably somewhere in that area. I don't know how far that is. It has been so long. Is anyone good with maps, perhaps?
Oh, I am.
Oh, well, Mr. Judd. He walks over and like you get your map out and he points where you guys are currently at, and then he points further south. For all of you here, you are about where the edge. So like you guys are, if we look at the corner of the lizard folk, you guys are about here, just in this like open heeled clearing area, and they are from like down here.
Traveled some great distance.
Apparently it is dire straits for their people.
No doubt they would not go to such ends without proper need.
Mm-mm. So, and you kind of hear this like hissing sound, and he turns back and kind of like, and then you can see them like kind of like move up, and like some of the fins on the back of their head kind of like flutter open, and like kind of intimidatingly so, this big red kind of like crown, and he taps in the water a few times and like puts his hands up very clearly and shows his neck. And they kind of like calm down. You see the fold go back down. He goes, sorry, they're hoping for an answer, and they're impatient. It's a lot of people just don't value a good response. They want it now. It's just time. You need time to think of these things. So yes, I'm not sure what course of action we could do. I don't think I can request that half of them die, Mr. Buck. I think they're pretty out and out destitute at this point. What would you like me to tell them?
Well, they're not getting the sap.
Okay.
They're not going to be happy to hear that.
I mean, I could tell them they're not going to get
That's
it.
the truth.
Yeah. Well, I think they believe they're going to. I'm not sure why, but they seem to believe they're going to.
I'd like to convince them to just return home, but that would not be without an answer to that problem.
Could we perhaps ask what makes them think that it is the kind of sickness they think it is, and why the elder oak is the answer to their problems?
Well,
We shouldn't ask another question before we answer theirs.
Well, I think I can answer this one. They as I had said, they mentioned that their diviners, their shamans, had said that this was the answer. They are a very spiritualist folk that believe in communing with nature as well as their dead. They eat one another to carry on the legacy of their families, and the spirit stays strong. It's remarkable, really.
Are they wrong? Would the sap of the oak heal like this?
Might, but it's sacred, and it's limited to one a generation, one use a generation, so it's not something that's taken lightly or taken easily.
Alright, now you said might, so we can tell them that it doesn't even function the way that they think. Is that true?
I mean, I don't heal from it.
You were reborn by it.
Right, but it doesn't, heal my wounds when I'm
That's
hurt.
true.
And hasn't cured me of any cures, or any curses, rather.
Curse isn't a disease or medical condition.
It
pre-existing
also,
curse.
maybe they're hoping for a whole reset, kind of perhaps like what happened.
So, what do
But,
you want me to tell them?
I'm thinking.
Oh, of course. Take your time. Sorry. Still new. It's fascinating to see the process, really. I'm excited to be here.
I'm assuming you don't want them here anymore, Bucky. Actually, I don't have to assume. I can tell.
You know.
How do we get them to leave?
You again hear hissing from behind Bartholomew. He goes, and like taps a few times, and you see them communicate and converse back and forth. Bartholomew turns back and he goes, they believe that at the final moments of their ritual, which they were performing, they will have the strength of their ancestors embolden them, and via the spiritual assistance they will, there's no nice way to say it, they say they will rain death upon those who keep the secrets of the forest from them.
Yeah, have that.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. That's a rough one.
so we shouldn't let that ritual finish, is what I'm hearing.
It's a very delicate political situation, right? Because, I mean, your weaver's chosen, but speaking, if I might, rather frankly, these people believe they are right as much as anyone else in this world thinks they are right. Is it truly your calling to determine right and wrong? I mean, no one has ever
killing my people.
That is fair, but I mean, historically, your people have killed a lot of them too. I mean, come on, my people have killed. Goodness, Velithil. I'm sorry, Miss Downway. We've I mean, slaughtered in droves. I mean, there's no good people anymore, really.
I can't allow the Elder Oak to be destroyed.
Right. I mean, it's never fallen in the time that I've known it.
Well, there's always a first for everything.
Right. Of course, your weaver's chosen. You intervene heroically in great and powerful deeds. Maybe that's what if you'd like, I could spin it that way. That you are weaver's chosen, and they're going to get the metaphorical poop pushed in if they don't do what you say. I could take the old, and he kind of rolls his sleeves up, and there's like a bunch of like bruises and stuff from sleeping outside, and he goes, we give them the old authoritarian, they didn't really respond to that when the UNT did that to their people and subjugated them, but I mean, this time around you're way tougher, I'm sure, than a 25-foot tall snake man. Yeah, way more intimidating for sure. Yeah.
What do you think, Velithil?
I think we have nothing to offer them to give them reason to simply return, so we would have to threaten. We would have to demand they accept their loss here. They have already failed. They do not have the numbers to take what they want. And they should return home and be with the final moments of their shaman and prepare for the future.
Miss Downvey, I'm sorry to say it, but if we tell them that, that's as good as telling them that they're going to die. I mean, that seems rather cruel, don't you think?
Are they all going to die? I thought one of them was going to die.
Well, I mean, yes, but in the sense that it is a leader, it is a member of their community, a pillar and hope of their people. It would be if, for instance, the King of Silverhearth were to pass away. sure, the succession, maybe his son could pull it together, but there are a number of spirits that preclude the situation. I think we are underplaying how delicate their plight is at this moment.
I understand that, but they
again-
don't have an answer.
Of course, they don't. But I feel like, is there truly no way that they could acquire this medicine from the could we acquire it, or you acquire it, Mr. Buck, and then we give it to them, and then everyone gets to live? Is that far from here?
I don't even know if I could make that happen.
Oh, well then, we're kind of not really working with a lot of leverage, as they like to say, in the room.
No, we were never walking into this situation with much leverage, but now we at least have understanding.
Right. Well, I've told them that you are deciding how best to respect their culture and understandings. They are currently finishing the ritual. I believe it to be done soon, if not by this evening. Do we just wish them fond farewells? Do you want to...
We could ask them to stop the ritual and let us
I don't think that's going to happen.
converse.
I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. They've already made the sacrifices, you see, Mr. Buck.
Well, so you would just suggest for them to go ahead and carry out their attack.
I would suggest that no one should have to die for their own cultural beliefs, Mr. Buck. You, of course, are very emotional in the situation, and I believe you have investment in the area, of course.
But you're saying no one should die, but my people will die.
But I feel like there has to be a diplomatic way to handle this. Yes, yes, it's a spiritual thing, and that it can't be given up, or whatever you're saying. But is there no way to see reason that this sap couldn't be given, or your people are known and renowned for their secrets and healing and salves and bombs, and is there nothing that could be done to save these people? Is this... I am on your side, and whatever you tell me, I'm going to do. I'm sorry to even argue the point. I detest violence in any form.
They don't seem to mind it.
Well, that is their culture, Mr. Buck. I'm speaking for myself, not for these lizard folk. I can't redeem how they were raised and how their culture has raised them as much as it has raised you. I merely speak as a third party in this instance. I don't wish to see anyone die.
Bucky, is it possible for any of your elders or healers that could use the powers and gifts of the oak without taking away from it? Are there individuals that could potentially heal?
There might be a priestess that could do that, but I don't know that they would, and it's not mine to offer.
Or better yet, is there some way that you could talk to them and maybe suggest that this, if they help, then there's a truce between y'all's nations for the rest of time if y'all help. I don't know either of y'all's cultures quite well, but perhaps something like that is an option.
Well, the problem is they're doing this ritual to empower themselves to attack the Elder Oak, so we would have to stop them doing the ritual and parlay with them in order to even come to that kind of agreement. You know what I mean?
But that's what we're
that is what
talking
I'm
about
suggesting.
doing now.
But
we have to have something to offer.
Stop.
Then what would you have us do in this situation, Buck?
I don't know. I mean, if he's saying that they're not going to stop the ritual and they're going to carry out this attack, then we need to stop it.
Well, you're
But-
saying there's absolutely no options.
I'm not saying that. He said it.
Me? I'm sorry. I was offering. I was trying to ask for options.
I asked you if we could get them to stop the ritual in order to work something out with them, and you
Oh, I
said
don't
no.
think they're going to stop the ritual. No, I don't think that's a thing. They've already started it. Is the thing. I don't think this ritual can be stopped. They've already offered the souls of the dead, and I mean, look, and he like points to the pyre, and there are like boots and like clothes that are in the pyre. He's like, they've already made the offerings to their spirits. I think this is less of a stopping and more of a waiting until whatever stars they worship, or I'm not an expert of the occult. I don't know. But
Can I do an
considering no
arcana
one...
of what they're hoping to accomplish or gain?
Sure, go right ahead. Yeah, Bucky is not
14.
Bartholomew
I
is not a
only
mage.
roll 14s tonight.
14. You kind of take this in, you look over the area, you see the sacrifices and offerings that have been put, the people that have been impaled, the kind of telltale signs that they've thrown entire homes of people into this pyre and have sacrificed them to whatever cause it might be. Likely they've killed at least a half a dozen people, and you kind of look it over. It looks as if they are attempting to draw forth some type of either spirit or form of undead that would either join them in battle or empower one of their warriors to fight. This ritual seems to be a very, very, very shoddily done kind of version of like a something you might consider compared to like life transference, where you're sacrificing living flesh to heal or empower another. It seems to be something like that. You're not 100% with a 14. You're not 100% in on crazy shaman magic because it's not trained in schools. But the markings and the chants and the dancing is all very macabre. And so you would assume it to be somewhere in the school of your own teaching. And they're attempting to entice. You with a 14 too, you know you can't rule out the potential that this is a summoning ritual, and they might be attempting to pull forward either like maybe a summon lesser or greater demon or any type of the things that require innocent blood to be spilled for a ritual.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the general kind of like, it could be a number of things, but all of them kind of deal with give life, get something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I don't think that it's going to stop, but if we were to disrupt it, then that would be, I mean, that would be your thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm completely new at this, Mr. Buck. I don't want to go against my supervisor or anything. I'm just letting you know, I'm providing insight as a diplomat, as is my position.
I don't know if they're gonna listen to reason.
I mean, they're talking to me, but that's...
But they're making demands already.
Well, I would too if I had 15 people backing me up, yes.
I mean, I know what I want, but I'm not acting alone, so...
Mm-hmm. So, what do you all want to do? Should I tell them anything, or should we just tell them we're sorry for intruding? We'll go away, let them leave alone, and we can figure out a plan from there, or do we strike now while the iron is hot, or?
It's your home, and you know the options, of which there seem to be none. So,
I feel like if there was an option to parlay with them, they would have tried that.
no. Why would they do that when they can just take what they need?
Well, I mean, my people would have tried, but now
Would they
they're
have?
here impaled on stakes. I mean,
Is
at the
anyone
very least, we have
else?
to ask them to stop their attack. And, if they refuse to that, then what can we do?
I'm not really interested in a 15 on 5 1/4. JJ Morgan, Orville.
You see Bartholomew look around and go, Mr. Orville, you are just a valued asset as much as myself. There's no reason she should call you a quarter.
I mean,
Just cracking every single one of his knuckles, staring directly at Buddy.
But I think you're a great asset to this team. You are the most ferocious, sir.
We're gonna intimidate the other folk by beating up Buddy.
We will kick the shit out of this
Orville's
guy.
plan. They had that guy talk to him this whole time, and then they kicked his ass.
Beat this nerd up, give him a wedgie, and stuff him in the locker.
Kick this nerd's ass.
Yeah, just.
Father,
I don't have
Father,
a horse in this race. And I just have to wonder if anyone else has any other opinions on it before I honestly let Bucky decide, as it's his home and this is what he cares about.
Well, if the Elder Oak falls, I highly doubt that I will still be able to contribute to this group.
Oh, no, you'll be at least as useful as Bartholomew.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That's pretty useful. That's honest. I didn't know. Are you a scholarly man, Mr. Buck?
In that state, they might make a whole half.
I have other talents.
Oh, tremendous. Okay, great. Yeah, then. I mean, what's the issue then?
Can't allow it to happen.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep. Back on it. Back on the ball. Figured it out.
AJ.
I mean, I've already said my suggestion.
If we were going to try and... How much time would that take us to get invested in this? To try and ask them to parlay, to not produce an attack that they are going to be ready by nightfall for whatever this ceremony will produce, for us to try and beg a priestess who we don't even know if could help. I would love to reach that peaceful end, but we don't have the time.
Yeah. I'm kind of in the same boat as you. This is Bucky's thing.
Bucky, you're connected to all this in some way that I don't quite understand. Are you able to commune with this priestess or your tree or the people that you could see if they could or would be willing to offer some sort of peaceful means?
I don't have a way to directly contact anyone unless I were to go to them. The Elder Oak comes to me in dreams.
Right.
But I've sworn to protect it and carry its seed elsewhere.
Gross. Wait, what exactly does that mean?
Congratulations.
The seed of the Elder Oak that I carry within me that gives me my powers.
So where are you carrying it?
Oh, I'm not gonna tell you that.
Well then, so, not to interrupt, sounds like it's getting a little hot
Fight
in
off a
here.
small army of lizard folk with you, and you're not going to tell me why I'm doing it. Delightful.
Now, I think, this is a good, this is a good learning moment, that you all can reach an opportunity to understand one another. Now, Bucky, Miss Downvey seems to be wanting to just know more about you and understand you as a friend should, and I think you're being rather defensive about your cultural secrets, which I can completely understand. But you have to understand her heart's coming from a good place, yes?
Yeah, I do. But I
Good.
can't allow these people to slaughter my people and destroy the Elder Oak. Can't let
Right.
that happen.
So we just, I'll draw this very good sword, and we'll just heroically charge in, and we'll kill
Well,
them first.
If you can find a way to stop them from doing this, then by all means, Mr. Diplomat, go right ahead.
Okay, I will. I mean, he turns back and he kind of like starts shouting, and kind of you hear this like tapping of water. They go back and forth for a few minutes before you start hearing
What
like
did you call him?
Mr. Diplomat.
Diplomat. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Dipshit. They go back for a few minutes. Bartholomew kind of looks back and goes, "Yeah, there's not truly much. Some of the people who are suffering from the sickness are leaders in their community, and they are steadfast in their resolve. They marched here in numbers of 50 or more, and they are down to just these 15. This is the last of the bulk of their culture, from what I can understand, other than a few of their diviners they left back home. But they've moved as a tribe this far, and many have died pursuing this dream."
Like this suggestion, but can I make a suggestion to you? What if you offer yourself to them? Because you have sap in you,
Oh, you can.
and then they won't attack, right?
Is that
Sorry,
thing you
I
can
don't
do?
understand it all because you won't tell me about it. But am I wrong?
Bartholomew puts a hand up and goes, "Now, Miss Downvey, I work for all of you, not just you. That is a little aggressive. It is rather
Oh,
unbecoming."
he was looking for an answer, and I think we just found one, right?
That I don't.
I'm not going to sacrifice myself to these.
I feel
brutes.
like.
It's for your tree.
I'm just gonna walk. I'm gonna take a few steps away. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna like Bucket. You see Bartholomew like can just like walk past, like stand near JJ. Just like, so hi, how you doing? I mean, seems fun.
It's you're doing your best.
Thank you so much. It is so very nice to hear that, actually.
To be honest, we couldn't even figure out why they were here if it weren't for you. So I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Means a lot. You see Bartholomew trying to hold back tears. What is it you guys want to do? You don't really have a solution. It seems like they're kind of stuck in the mud.
But I just totally found one. I'm a genius.
Bye, Bucky. It was nice knowing you.
Bye, Bucky. What's your
We're
next character, dog?
gonna-
Here's a knife. We're just gonna stab it, and then like when you bleed out all the sap that they need, rock and roll express, brother.
Not happening.
I didn't think so. I mean, you look and they've now crowded around this large pyre. In the time you guys have talked, you guys are effectively deep into their area where they have all collected. While there are other pillars and stuff, you are in like the very heart of their village, or not village, but like outpost that they've kind of shoddily thrown together. But yeah, anything you guys want to do?
Well, Morgan doesn't know, like she wouldn't know much about these two cultures other than what Bucky has said or
Yeah.
anything in passing. So I think in her mind, knowing Bucky, like, and knowing that part of it, obviously I don't want any harm to come to the satyrs.
Mhm.
But it doesn't seem like we have any options. Like, you said a few of them were sick, right?
A few of them didn't make it. They've died. They left the sickly folk back home. Yes. I mean,
Well,
Bucky, do you bleed the sap?
no.
Even if we cut your tattooed up arm?
That wouldn't
that'd be.
do anything.
Could we not maim anybody for science?
Well, it's just it's a
It's a thing
wow,
we do around here.
It's
Well, I
an
mean, that's a thing.
idea.
That's a thing they do in Aurelia, and I would just prefer to not be a party to that anymore.
Well, it's just an idea of what if he could share the sap of his body and they could take it back as a
Right.
peace offering to
Right.
help heal their folks. It's just it's an option. I don't know if it's something that would actually work. I'm just spitballing.
Sure.
The curiosity, because it is the only remotely answer we have. And I don't like it because it's Bucky, but that's...
Yeah.
I
just
that's
don't
the
know
curiosity
anything
of the
that's
thing.
going on.
I will say
We
that
know nothing what is truly going on with Bucky.
if
We know that it is his thing, but that's it.
if we are truly at an impasse, and this is something that cannot stand, and it is an injustice that you, as Weaver's Chosen, must address, my only passing advice then, while I abhor violence, is that Miss Morgan aim for the one with the crab claw, because he's the only one that seems to have eaten anything in a week. The rest of them seem rather hungry. So
Starving.
that's
They
my
failed.
last.
Their families are dying at home.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't have the sap, our two options are wipe out this culture or let them wipe out the satyrs.
Here's the thing that I'm
That seems to be
wondering.
black and white. Yeah. That seems about it.
Is if they complete, and we don't know what your current state is around home, the damages that they caused when they were stronger a force.
They tend to be a rather neutral society from memory. It's why many of them succumb to the rule of Craigmaw. Many of them are very passive, spiritualist people that live in peace and seek only to eat and prosper. It does seem that these are the last refuges of the Great Falls that has been mustered. Which honestly, that kind of opens me up to a question of what's happening down there that these people are getting sick in the first place. Yeah, it's a weird
Hard
one.
to say.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know really where our duties kind of go. But if we keep just standing here without, we could just leave, or we could not endanger ourselves. Or, Miss Morgan could take the shot, as it were, and then I could just turn around and not have to look at what's happening. That would be pretty cool.
Thought you wanted to fight.
No, I want to defend myself, but this is borderline illegal. I am not a Weaver's Chosen. I am a diplomat who works for Weaver's Chosen. They will lock me up for this. I don't get to go, I'm an adventurer. I am not. I am your assistant. If you need a coffee halfway through the fight, I've got you. I will go run and get it from the captain, and I will meet you back here.
I assure you the people of these lands will not lock you up for helping us defend them.
Mm-hmm. 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 Okay.
It's not the people of these lands who we are committing crimes against.
Well, it's more that I have committed crimes. I don't want. It's a lot of heat. Don't want to have to explain that. You know, I was.
Oh, we're wanted in Ravon right now.
Y'all wanted criminals.
Yeah.
It's false accusations, but it's complicated. We might need you to help us with that later.
Cool.
Anyways, Bucky,
Cool.
what are we doing?
No doubt. Great.
We're gonna
wanted criminals.
tell them to stop the ritual, and if they refuse, then we're gonna kill them.
All right. Well, I
Threaten
will.
the hell out of them. That's what we're doing.
I will convey that message right away. You see Bartholomew kind of walk up and like put a hand on Orville's shoulder and go, "Have I told you today how masculine and strong and as he's saying this, he has a hand on your shoulder and he's like dancing around Orville and immediately like hiding behind Orville. And then he starts shouting from behind Orville. He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "Hasa, hosasa, utakasi." I didn't have to slap for that one. That's just really offensive to say. And you see the one in front like hiss and crack and snap its jaw and roar out. And you see many of them draw these stone weapons. He goes, "Yeah, no, they disagree." And they kind of roar out. In doing so, they will go into combat and attempt to defend their lives and their livelihood. We will, let's see here. Yeah.
I don't think we need a translator for that one.
Yeah, I think we're gonna call it here though, because it's already 10
next week.
Yeah, because it'll probably take a good bit of time. So yeah, that sounds pretty good. So next week we will pick up from initiative at the Lizard Folk Village or the Lizard Folk Outpost, and the Weaver's Chosen dispensing justice across the land.
Don't even try and sell this.
So,
you know what you set us up here with.
I know what I'm talking about. I feel like this is. What do you mean? What do you mean? It seems like a cool thing. So yeah, for everyone who stuck with us throughout the broadcast, checked us out, had a great time. We had a great time just because you were here. We're gonna raid I don't know, like we're friends. I don't know. We're gonna raid another channel. They are playing Mass Effect. Yeah, we'll raid them. It's Kara. She's cool peeps, builds keyboard stuff, talks a big game about liking JJ, so all good friends of the channel. For everyone who stuck with us throughout the broadcast, we certainly do appreciate you. I'll be back online for Thursday, and then we will return Saturday, give or take, for teamwork and then solos and all that fun stuff. As always, join the Discord, be part of the conversation, get involved, get in the comments if you're Brandon Lee Mulligan, because he's amazing. Sorry, yes, them. Sorry. That's really bad. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Get your Goblin raid emotes out, so we can raid them. As always, thank you guys for hanging out with us. Hope you had a great time. Hope we were a little bit of sunshine on a bad day. Peace out.